Hey folks, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our video review of the Tomameri Slim Digital MP4 player. Upon a first impression, this MP4 player looks very similar to the G.G Martinsen MP4 player that we reviewed a few weeks ago, which is basically a iPod Nano clone. However, there are a few differences that distinguishes this from the G.G Martinsen competitor. For one, it sells for 25 bucks, which is a little bit more expensive. There's also an integrated microSD card slot on the very top, so you can expand the memory on this MP4 player. In fact, the 16GB version is actually included because there is a 16GB card pre-installed. And so basically the MP3 player or the MP4 player by itself is a blank media player. It offers a 1.81-inch display, and the UI has also been slightly tweaked by the manufacturer. It's a bit more intuitive, at least in my opinion, and it comes in a number of different colors, including greens, pinks, silvers, blacks, and the list just goes on and on. Now, it's very affordable, but just like with the G.G Martinsen MP4 player, I'm not a huge fan of the design because it seems like it's a clone, which I'm not a huge fan of. However, I have to say that at this price point, it is very affordable, and it's a good option for kids to play around with, or also for people who constantly travel and don't want to bring something ultra expensive on the road. In the box, you have access to the usual accessories, which includes an instruction manual that is documented in both Chinese and English. There's also earbuds, which are pretty crappy, and I would recommend getting a better pair. There's also a mini USB cable for charging and syncing. Takes about 2 hours to completely charge. This is not the micro USB cable that we typically see nowadays, but the older generation model. There's also a quick start guide for showing you guys how to set things up. As far as compatibility goes, it works with both Mac and PC. It's a plug-and-play solution, so it's incredibly easy as far as dragging in songs and dragging in video files. Basically, it reads like a digital thumb drive, and you plug it in, you insert any songs, any MP4 video files, and JPEG images, and you're ready to go. So that's very intuitive. There's no syncing software that you need to install. The build on here, just like on the G.G Martinsen, is made out of a actual aluminum, so it is not plastic. It actually feels pretty good in the hand. The top features the aforementioned 16GB microSD card, which is where all the content is currently stored, and you can expand it with your own card, of course. Turning the unit on is pretty simple. The battery life on here is decent. There's a standby time of roughly 2 months. On the very bottom, there's access to the mini USB for charging and syncing. There's also a lanyard strap and a 3.5mm jack for listening to music. So over here, we have the actual UI. There is a battery status in the top right-hand corner, and as you can see, it doesn't have as many animations as the G.G Martinsen player does. In fact, it's a lot cleaner, and it's also a lot more intuitive because the arrows go left and right, and the UI basically goes left and right, as opposed to the G.G Martinsen, which actually had a fake iOS-like experience with the icons going up and down, but you had to slide left and right to go through the different titles, which didn't really make a lot of sense. The features, however, are basically the same. There's an FM radio on here. You don't even need to have headphones installed to listen to the radio. You can also skip tracks and also to hold on the skip key there for a few seconds longer to get a channel that offers stronger reception, and you also have the ability to record the radio as well if that's what you want to do. So pressing on the menu key for a few seconds longer takes you back home. There's also a picture viewer, which is very simple. Tap on the menu key once to enter the UI. As you can see, the reaction speed here is not as quick as the G.G Martinsen. I believe this is because the videos and also the images and the songs are not inside the integrated memory, but rather from the memory card, so it takes a bit longer for the MP4 player to read those files. The display is the same as the G.G Martinsen, which is to say it's bright, but it offers very limited viewing angles. If you tilt it slightly, it basically goes kind of off in terms of the contrast. However, it still is fairly readable under direct sunlight, which is a plus compared to some other things out there. There's also system settings. I can change how the system looks. A text reader, which is ebook reader. It's very limited though, so you can record a few notes on there, including appointment times and contact names if you want to store that. There is the MP3 player, of course, which shows you your equalizer. There are 2 preloaded tracks, which includes sample song Take Me to Your Heart, and also if I skip there, Aqua's Barbie Girl, which is 2 very bizarre songs to include. But anyways, you have access to the song name, the title, the amount of time that is going on in the song. On the very top, there's access to battery status and also equalizer settings in addition to the volume. And it works pretty well as far as the sound quality goes. It's not as strong as a actual iPod, of course. However, it is pretty loud, and it can be a decent MP3 player for listening to tracks when you're going to the gym or going on traveling purposes. We have a video player here. It plays back videos at a decent frame rate. There is also a brief clip that you can check out over here. As you can see, the screen size at 1.81 inches is a little bit limited. However, you can still watch a few clips here and there and enjoy the content without too many issues. So that is one feature on here. And that's, again, essentially all the core functions that you'll find on here. Videos, text. Again, e-ink displays are much better for ebook reading just because it produces less strain on your eyes. But overall, that is a feature on here if you do need to access it. At the end of the day, the Tomameri MP4 player, I think, is slightly better than the G.G Martinsen MP4 players that we checked out a few weeks ago, just because the main UI is a bit more intuitive. The center key actually goes into some applications, and also the home screen goes left and right and corresponds with the clickers over here. Even though the scroll over here is not capacitive, you can't go and scroll on it just like on the actual iPod. Overall, it's a bit more simple and easy to understand, and most of the functions are fully working, and the quality of the build is a lot better than I expected as well. To learn more information about this particular MP4 player, be sure to read our full written review on our website. This has been our video. Thanks for watching. Here are OS Reviews.